Hey guys, Rob from Night Solutions Canada. I'm just out here hanging out in the middle of the night doing some testing on a new housing that we actually got into the shop. This is called the DT-2, and a little backstory on this housing. If you recall, way back in 2016, 2017, a housing hit the market out of Europe called the DT-NVG. It was sold by a company called Acton Black. Now the original designer of that housing has since parted ways from Acton Black, fast forward a little bit, and he is now back to designing housings, and this is his first design, the DT-2. In effect, it's a spiritual successor of the DT-NVG. So those of you that are fans of the DT-NVG from back in the day, looking at this, you'll find some striking similarities. So like I said, we just got this into the shop. It will be on our website for sale, if not already. So I figured I'd go through the basic features for you, just so you had an idea, should it spark your interest, to go check it out on the website. Now, first and foremost, the housing itself is of polymer construction. There's not a lot of metal parts on this, and that's to keep weight down. Now, in terms of features, the DT-2 has gone the direction of super simple and no frills when it comes to the housing. All the features are super simple to use in terms of one-handed operation, and the design itself has gotten rid of what I'd consider, some legacy features that you'd find on other housings. So let's just cover all these real quick. In terms of the power controls is done by a single switch. It's a binary on or off switch. So again, you can operate it with one hand, flick it down to turn it on, flick it up to turn it off. Now the Bino is powered by a single CR123 on the device itself. The DT-2 does not include a external power port, so it does not support hooking up to a battery system. You are reliant on the on-device CR123 for operation. Now, along with that super simple power switch, there's also no manual gain knob. So if you have manual gain tubes, that may be an issue, obviously, with this housing. So next, let's talk about IPD stops. IPD stops generally rely on mechanical components of the device, so little wheels or dials that move physical components that stop the tubes at the right spot of articulation for your eyes to meet that IPD. Right? So your interpupillary distance. Now the DT-2 has gotten rid of those components altogether, and it's gone with a friction washer system on the hinges of the pods. And essentially those friction washers allow for a range of motion, with the top and low end of that motion having a friction wall. The bottom friction wall acts as your, what would be traditionally the mechanical IPD stop, and then the upper wall would be your articulation point. And those friction washers can also be set within a certain range to different ranges themselves for a different range of motion for different people's eyes. You essentially just have to push through that tension point, and that washer will move within an extended range within the molding of the hinge. Now, I'm used to mechanical systems, so this one took me a minute to wrap my head around, but once I got used to it, it ended up being pretty intuitive. So now to a feature that isn't on this housing, and it's one I sort of consider to be a legacy feature, I guess. It's on a lot of other housings out there, but the DT-2 just sort of did away with it in its design, and that is an onboard IR flood. If you're looking for one of those, can't find one here. But again, in my opinion, I don't use it myself personally. I know some guys do, I know many don't. So again, pick your poison. If you're looking for an IR flood and you're dead set on it, you won't find it on the DT-2, unfortunately. And finally, I guess let's talk about some weight stuff. Now, I'm gonna be quoting a number in grams here. It's specific to this set. Now, when I weighed these, this specific setup came out to be 570 grams. Now, to give you a bit of a comparison, if you take another product on our site, which we list a weight for a very similar setup here, that's the NVG Alphas, also with Noctis glass. Those come out to be 595 grams, so 25 grams more. Now, again, this is a completely polymer housing. The NVG Alphas have metal reinforcements on them. That housing also has some of those legacy features that I've discussed here. That's where you're getting a little bit of a weight difference. So yeah, that's the DT-2. Like I said, super simple, straightforward, no frills housing from the designer of the original DT-NVGs. So if you're a fan of the DT-NVGs, I think you'll be a fan of these. So hopefully this has answered all the questions you guys might have before you jump on the website. If not, as always, drop me a comment in the comments below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible, or reach out to us via the website or email. Again, we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And now for me, I'm going to go home because it's literally the middle of the night and it's way past my bedtime. But as always, thanks so much for spending some time with me. Have an awesome day. Cheers.